In 2019, I left my phone on the bus. In 2020, I left my backpack in a McDonald's. In 2021, I left my laptop in a classroom. In 2022, I left my glasses in an Uber. And in 2023, I left my Pixel Buds on a bus. So I think it's fair to say that I really can't be trusted to keep track of anything. But luckily, I think this next device is kind of built to do that for me. So just a little bit of background to help this video flow a little bit smoother. In early 2023, it was leaked that Google's working on some kind of project called Project Grogu, and it seemed that the idea of this was to be an answer to Apple's AirTag devices. And now this was really exciting to me in particular because it kind of felt like no one was doing this. There was this really precise device for everyone else, and yet for some reason we didn't have anything similar at the time. But 2.5 years later, and we still haven't heard anything about this. So it's fairly easy to say that Google has killed Grogu. But at I/O of that same year, Google actually announced something almost as cool as Project Grogu, and it was to open up their Find My network, now renamed to Find Hub, to third-party device manufacturers. And this would effectively mean that Google didn't have to develop their own technology, someone else would do it for them. And immediately, they were proved right. A bunch of brands came out of the woodwork to adopt this technology in order to make these devices for Google. Starting out with brands like Chipolo and Pebblebee, and even expanding to a bunch of different headphone manufacturers who wanted to put that tracking tech on their devices, including brands like Sony and JBL. But it wasn't until August of 2024 that Motorola released this, the Motorola Tag, and I'm going to spend a few minutes of your time giving you a few reasons why I think this might just be the best Bluetooth tracker for Android. First off, and I know I've already kind of explained this in the start of this video, but the compatibility with Google's Find Hub is actually kind of massive. The network is fairly far-reaching and ubiquitous. In the UK, where I live, if you hadn't figured that out by everything about me, the split between Android and iOS is actually fairly even. So that means in a country of 70 million people, you have 35 million Android users, and 99% of those users are going to be running a device that's compatible with the Find Hub. And the only real specification to include that is that it has to be running Android 9 or above, and 99% of Android users are doing that currently. So that's the only real compatibility needed. So why does the amount of Android devices out in the wild actually matter to this Bluetooth tracker? I mean, it doesn't run Android, right? Well, yeah, it doesn't. But the number actually does matter. See, when you take your Bluetooth tracker out into the open, especially the ones on Google's Find My network, those Android devices are all able to see your tracker in a very encrypted way. So that means that if you do lose your tracker, or rather lose something that your tracker is on, Google can communicate with those Android devices in order to find your tracker and therefore your lost property. It basically means that as long as someone with an Android device is near your tracker at the time, you shouldn't really have too much of a problem finding your device. Also, another big one for me, because it's connected to the Find Hub network, you don't need to download any third-party software. You don't need another app tracking your location and data. You don't need to mess around with downloading other things. You don't need to mess around with ads for other people's software and items. You just connect it to your phone and it works. Also, kind of an important one, the tracker is also compatible with Google's Fast Pair technology. This is kind of a small thing, but I really like it. It makes the whole connection process really seamless and simple. It makes it feel a little bit more premium, which I really enjoy. Okay, reason number 2, and again, this might seem like a really small one, but if you've seen my last video, you'll know that those little aesthetic things really do matter to me. This tracker is the exact size and shape of an AirTag, which means that it's compatible with pretty much every AirTag accessory on the market, which I think is really cool. So whether it be keyrings, clips, safety pins, dog collars, if you can buy it for an AirTag, you can buy it for this tag, and I think that that opens you to a massive world of accessories. There is a much wider accessory ecosystem for Apple devices, so compatibility with that ecosystem is a massive plus for me, and I think that it really enhances the experience. Also, while we're talking about form, I think having a replaceable battery is huge. The tag by default lasts an entire year, which is kind of crazy on its own, but the fact that you can just swap out the coin cell battery inside for less than £4 and then get an entire another year out of it, that makes this extremely reusable. Okay, number 3, and this is a really big reason I think everyone will care about, and it's not just a niche thing that I love. Ultra-wideband technology, and if you don't know what that means, please stick with me and I'll explain. Ultra-wideband technology effectively means that you can use extremely precise tracking to find this tracker. And what that means is that your device, rather than just telling you the general area you've lost it in, will actually show you in a matter of meters exactly where the device is so that you can find the exact spot you've lost it in. Whereas most trackers will tell you the general location, and it will even provide a ringing sound so that you can find it when you get to that location, if that location is busy and loud, or if you're hard of hearing even, it's not really going to cut it for you. So being able to open your phone and have your phone tell you it's 5 feet away in that direction, that can be the difference between getting your lost item back and potentially losing it again. Oh, also, the ultra-wideband technology extends to 100 meters, which is a little bit higher than the standard, so just gives you a little bit of extra safety that makes you feel a little bit more secure with the device itself. Alright, so number 4. It's pretty damn durable. In fact, it even has an IP67 rating. Oh, for those of you who don't speak nerd, IP67. Ingress protection 6.7. The 6 means that it's both dust and debris protected. Nothing's going to get inside the device and scramble the electronics. You don't need to worry about that at all. And the 7 means that it's water resistant. Not necessarily waterproof, but water resistant. It means that the tracker can actually take a meter-long dive for 30 minutes. I wouldn't go swimming with it, but if you did drop your swim bag in the pool, you're still probably safe to track your items, although I would probably wipe it off first. And then the 5th and final reason is, it goes both ways. Happy Pride Month? No, obviously not like that. I mean that it can track your phone back. I mean, I'm always putting my phone in a different room in the house and then spending a while scratching my head wondering where I've put my phone down and how do I get it back before I need to do something important. So if you do go to this button in the middle and tap it twice, it'll start your phone ringing. And that makes it so much easier to find which specific sofa cushion you've dropped your phone down. Oh, heads up though, there's also another feature that I really haven't been able to figure out. This button, apparently you can hit it while you have the camera app open on your phone and take a photo for you, using it as a sort of remote shutter. But for the life of me, I've been trying quite a lot and I really haven't been able to figure it out. I would say, yeah, it's kind of difficult to use Bluetooth in specific ways like that, but I mean, I was able to connect a remote shutter to my Samsung Galaxy S8 in 2017 and it worked just fine, so I don't know if I'm okay using that excuse for this. But I mean, every device is going to have one flaw, and I'm glad that this flaw is something that I really don't care about. In conclusion, this tag is kind of everything you're going to need in a tracker. It's accurate, it's precise, it's fun, and it's simple. I mean, what more can you really ask for? And I know it might seem frivolous spending £35 on a little circle that fits in your pocket and you hope to never use, but I guess it can be said that a man who overspends on a Bluetooth tracker is a fool every day but one, and that's the day you really don't want to be a fool on. I would rather spend a little bit too much on this now, rather than lose all of the things that I put in my backpack on a daily basis. Also, the secondary conclusion, I guess. If you've watched my past few videos, you might see that I'm someone who cares a fair bit about ecosystems, and in the Android community, this makes me somewhat of an anomaly, almost like a mythical creature. Especially, you could tell from the last video, I really like the idea of merging the fluent ecosystem of iOS with the fun and levels of choice that you get with Android, and I really don't think that you have to choose one without the other, and I think it's kind of unfair to expect us to. And to be honest with you, this tag goes a long way to building up that perfect ecosystem that I have in my head that I'm currently building up over time. But hey, maybe that's a video for another day, or maybe even several videos. Let me know if you'd want that. This is my 3rd time reshooting this video because it's so hot that inevitably I just try to get it done and I make a mistake and then I have to sit in the heat for much longer. So please pray that this is the last time I'm gonna have to reshoot this. Have a good day, guys, and you know, if you've got the time, please like and subscribe. I mean, I'm not really a YouTuber, I don't like saying those words, but it actually does help, and I'm kind of enjoying doing this, so, you know, join the ride.